Rezensionen, Emotionen, Videos bloggen und mal loggen. Seit 10 Jahren spielen Narren, lebt dreimal hoch, klicken Abend.
Hallo Klickenabendler, wir sind auf der Essen-Messe bei Sit Down. Next to me is Marie. Hi Marie.
Hi, nice to meet you.
It's very early.
Yes, I'm tired.
Me too. You don't have you have a new game here at the fair, but you also have a game which is for next year.
Yeah, so it's a Kickstarter and it will be launched at the beginning of 2017.
It's called Bad Bones and it's about death or about skeletons.
It's about skeletons, yes. So it's tower defense. So the idea is that you have a castle and you have a village and you have to protect it because each round new skeletons are arriving to try to destroy you. So you have to kill them or to send them in the castle of the other players.
I see. Okay. So for how many players is the game?
It's for families but also for gamers. So in the box you will have 3 different rules. The more easy for families or more gamers with a lot of traps to do combos to send lots of skeletons to the other king.
And I can play it alone and with more players.
You can play alone or with an infinite players because as you are playing with your board for your castle, and you are sending the skeletons to your neighbor. If you have 1,000 boards, you can play with 1,000 players.
Okay. So, how does the game work?
How does the game work? So, you have to play with 4 phases for each round. For the first one, you have to move your hero. You can move it from one space every round in any direction you want. And immediately, if he meets a skeleton, the skeleton is dead. Even if he meets lots of skeleton, he will never die. Then you have 30 seconds if you to decide if you want to put a trap or to remove one. So you have 4 different kinds of traps that I will explain immediately to you. So first of all, you have a gate. If a skeleton arrives on the gate, it's immediately sent in the graveyard of another player, so it's a new skeleton for him.
And it will arise there.
Yeah. You have also a wall to change the direction. So the wall, you can put it on the map, and for example, that one, instead of going here like that,
to stop there.
it will change his direction, and here it will leave the board, and of course it will go to another player. You have the dragon. The dragon, you can put it on a space with skeletons because it flies, and it will
smash him?
Yeah, it will smash him. So of course here, for example, it's out of the map, so it's going in the graveyard of another player. You can also use it on a free space, and then the skeleton will jump over him.
Okay.
And the last one is the treasure. The treasure will attract the skeleton. So here, for example, you have skeleton arriving on your castle, and they will change their direction to catch the treasure.
Okay.
So I told you that you had to choose between putting a trap or removing one. Why? Because when you will use a trap, it will be quite broken. So here, for example, a skeleton arrives here, it's sent in another graveyard, but then it's used, you know.
All right.
What does it mean? If another skeleton arrives here, then it will be also sent, but the trap will be destroyed forever. So you can decide to take it back
and
in your
hand. And then you can place it again.
Yeah, and it will be as new as before. So you have to economize all your traps to keep them as long as possible.
I see.
I forgot to say that the game was over when one player had lost all his castle or all his village. Okay?
All right.
The treasure is the only one that you can use only once, and if a skeleton is on a wall, you can't remove it. So it can happen that you are using it and then it's immediately destroyed. So you have to be careful and to think very smartly. It's quite strategical. But that phase is the only one timed by the hourglass. So you have 30 seconds to decide if you want to do it, if you want to put a trap, to remove one, which one. So it's quite tricky.
All right. After that, the skeleton moves?
Yeah, after that, the skeleton moves. So first of all, how do you place the skeleton on the map? For each skeleton, you have a direction and a symbol. So here, for example,
all right.
that one is not like that one. They have to be on their feet. All around the board, you have those symbols. So here, that one has to be put like that.
It's green.
Yeah, it's green, and he is on his feet. This one will be placed
like
here
that, green
to be
and
on his feet.
Okay.
And they will move by following the arrow. So that one, for example, will go until the village. They are always moving one space.
Step.
Yeah. And you have here arrows. If a skeleton arrives on the arrow, it will turn, of course, to go on the castle. Yeah, so here you will notice that the skeleton have two colors, one white side and one black side. Why? The hourglass has also a white side and a black side. It's to help you. At the beginning of the turn, you have the white side. It means that all your skeleton have to be white. Then you have the second phase. I said you have 30 seconds and you will use the hourglass. You turn it, and then you have the third phase. Now you have the black side, and you know that all the skeleton have to be black. So you will move them and flip them. Yes. And like that, I know, oh, I moved that one, but those ones haven't moved. I have to do it. It's really important because here, of course, I have only 3 skeletons, so it's easy. But when you have 15 skeletons, you have to know which one have moved and which one haven't. So it's really, really, really useful.
And the fourth phase, I guess there will be new skeletons.
Yeah, of course. So the first phase is the arrival of new skeletons. So you have to take as much as you have levels in your tower. So at the beginning you have 4 levels in your tower. So 4 new skeletons will arrive, plus of course those who are in your graveyard sent by the other player. Yes.
And I think you play as long as one survives.
So no, the game is over when someone has lost all the castle or all the whole village. Of course, when you are 2 players, it's easy to know who won and who lost. But when you are a lot of players, to find who won, you have to count the stars. The stars are victory points. So if a trap is destroyed, for example, here the treasure, you lose 4 stars. And that's why you have to keep also, as long as possible, all your traps and the whole village. Also, each levels of your tower is 4 victory points.
Okay. The game will come out next year in Essen, I guess?
Yes, if we have enough money to finance.
Sure. And are you planning a small game for 1 player and you can buy as many as you like, or are you planning one for 4 players and then you can extend it?
The idea is even to put 6 or 8 boards. It's still in discussion.
All right. So it will be perhaps a bigger thing and you can play it with more people, and if you buy a second one you can play it even with double the amount.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, it will be with colors. Here it's still in black and white.
Prototype.
It's still the prototype, so it will be kind of different. It will be nicer, and as I said, it will also have the more gamer rules, the more familiar rules. So
the game will be kickstarted at early or mid?
Beginning of 2017.
At the beginning of 2017, yes. So January, February, March, something like that.
Yeah, something like that, exactly.
All right. Great, thanks for your time.
You're welcome.
And wish you luck with the Kickstarter.
Thank you.
Hope to see the final game in Essen 2017 then.
Thank you.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Rezensionen Emotionen, Videos bloggen und mal loggen. Seit 10 Jahren spielen Narren, lebt dreimal hoch, klicken, aber